This 1971 Dodge Challenger 383 RT automatic transmission FJ6 Green Go with the A78 formal back roof is one of only 105 ever built. The pre-paint work is done on all the sheet metal except for the body, which is coming up next, and the drivetrain is being built as we speak. You don't want to miss a minute of the coverage. You'll never see another car like this at any car show in the world. That right there is Graveyard Carz.
This time on Graveyard Carz, John Buck's 1971 Challenger 383 engine gets disassembled and assessed for damage.
A couple things to make note of on here. This is a true real-life version of Second Day.
Dave and Allysa break down and rebuild the Hemi Roadrunner's heater box.
Kind of hard to get it off.
There's no rats.
Yeah.
Some new cars arrive at the graveyard, and Mr. Buck himself shows up for an update on his 71 Challenger. On this episode of Graveyard Carz.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
It has been established that the unburied dead are coming back to life.
I'm Mark Worman, and together we bring dead muscle cars back to life, to exactly the way they were on the day they were born.
This station will remain on the air day and night.
The crew is ready to disassemble Buck's 383 engine and hopefully find out what is making it perform poorly.
I wanted to talk about this engine right now. Several things that are really cool. This is a prime example of Second Day add-ons. And how I know that is I've spoken to the owner of the car, who's the original owner, and while it wasn't the Second Day, within a few months, he added nearly everything that you see on this engine. So I wanted to talk about that and the fact that we're gonna try to preserve it since it has just been rebuilt before the car was parked, only 10 years ago, but only 100 miles ago. I'm going to let you and Mike work on this together. Mike's a good mentor. He's much more patient than I am, I'm sure. True, Michael?
I couldn't see how it could be any worse.
A couple things to make note of on here. This is a true real-life version of Second Day. Now, they say Second Day because they mean they bought the car brand new, and then shortly thereafter, they started putting modifications.
Like rims.
Right. Okay, that's your version of Second Day. Back then, it was the Edelbrock aluminum intake manifold, the great big toilet bowl Holley carburetor. The headers, they're aftermarket. We have with this engine the original exhaust, original intake, and original carburetor. Now, right now, Scott Smith has the original carburetor up at Harms, and he's building it. What I want to do is get this torn down to the bare block carefully. Once I have that, I'm going to go through and mic everything and see exactly where it's at internally. This guy said that he only drove it a few thousand miles after he had it rebuilt. So if that's the case, we might be able to go through and just reseal it as long as everything's in good shape. I'm going to let you guys go with that. You got all your before pictures?
Yep.
Okay.
Gentlemen, start your wrenches. That's it.
Wow.
Okay.
NASCAR.
So I'll just
Wires
help
up
you.
that side.
Okay. Cool.
If you guys need any help from me, I'm going to go upstairs and write some comedy. Saturday Night Live was looking for a new writer. I thought I had a couple of sketch bits.
Gosh.
I do.
Good thing we have you around to actually get some work done, right, Mike?
Well, certainly not writing any comedy.
It was really cool getting to disassemble the engine. Usually I've been a part of putting them in the car. So getting to kind of work backwards today was a lot of fun.
Everything looks pretty dang fresh.
Looks brand new.
Usually once, if they've been sitting too long, these will get rust on them. If they're wore out, you can tell there's wear on them. It all looks pretty dang good from right here. We won't know for sure until we get the heads off, get its pistons out of it, get everything measured.
Okay.
So it won't be much longer.
So I had a lot of fun. I feel like we got a lot done in like a half hour. Mike only has about 15 minutes left on it, so next time I come in, it should be finished.
With Mike completing the Challenger engine disassembly, Allysa is free to help Dave on the one-of-one Hemi Roadrunner convertible.
I've never done heater box stuff before, so I have no idea, what it's gonna look like inside.
Basically, whenever you're seeing the car, say you're sitting right there, you're on the passenger side, I'm on the driver's side. This
Okay.
is like right at your feet. It's up underneath of the dash, but it kind of hangs down just a little bit. Now, unfortunately, the heater box is the place where all the mice and all the rats that end up in the car, it's where they all
my
make their
gosh.
home, because it's a nice, comfortable, warm place. because it's kind of
Did you already
insulated.
inspect it though,
Well,
for live?
This one I haven't.
Okay.
So it'll be interesting to see what this one looks like. So we'll keep our fingers crossed that there's no critters in there.
Super excited.
So, and then yeah, we'll just start on all of those. There you go, and then that tray right there you go, perfect.
Lifesaver.
But we'll make sure that we tape off that part number, and then we'll tape off this little wax writing on there so it all looks nice and original but brand new. So what we want to do is unhook that like that and leave that hang down there, and go ahead and we'll pull this thingy off here. Kind of hard to get it off.
There's no rats.
Yeah, see if something runs out of there or not.
Ah,
Nope,
no.
got lucky.
Got lucky.
But no critters in there.
Thank goodness,
that was
yeah.
a good thing. Yeah. If you want to take those two out, I'll get the bottom screws out of there. You want to try to do all your repairs on the inside so you don't see it on the outside. All right, so you got that off. Let's see if that's supposed to slide out of there. All right, so you got
How's it
those.
looking so far though, other than the...
It looks great. Okay, we got that unscrewed, so we'll lift that off, and that's our little motor assembly.
The
You can see-
hamster wheel?
Yeah, our little hamster wheel in there.
We generally do replace all the foam, right?
Yeah.
I would hope
Yeah,
so.
unless it's...
I mean, regardless of how...
Yeah, if it's in fantastic condition, if the whole box looked like this, all I would do is clean it.
Yeah.
You know, with all the seals being bad, I mean, we do the kits and just rebuild the whole thing, make it new. So go ahead and take these two right here out. We'll start working on this next plate. All right, so you got that out, huh? But that plate there will come off. And no critters in there neither.
You sound disappointed.
Yeah. But here's our heater core. Of course, a couple leaves in there. So the way you get the heater core out is you take these two screws out here.
Do cars these days have heater boxes like this?
Yeah, they're a little bit different, a little more high tech. A lot of them run off of vacuum. They use vacuum little actuators to actually open the doors. That's why sometimes when you hit a button, you hear the door go plonk, really loud, like underneath your dash or whatnot. But
Well, I
a lot
drive
of
a
those,
Merc, so.
yeah, some of the, some of the
I don't know
newer-
anything about that, but
Yeah, but they
mine probably looks like this.
it might,
if I'm
yeah,
lucky.
because yours is older.
While the majority of the heater box is in good condition, Dave discovers a problem with the heating core.
See here, see all the rust?
Oh,
so
yeah,
this
it's gross.
dude was leaking. Yeah, you can see where it was leaking
So
in
if
there.
it wasn't leaking, you think this would be in a lot better condition?
Yeah, it would look a lot better. The whole thing would look pretty much like that, you know, but you can
Okay.
see all this right here. This thing was obviously leaking. We're definitely
So we
worth
can't use
replacing.
this then?
No, that's gonna be
Okay.
junk. But we hang on to it, and whenever I grab the new one from upstairs, we'll make sure it's got the same configuration. Okay, so we got one more bracket we'll take out of here real quick. So go ahead and pull that one screw there out. And then we'll be done. That's all we got. A couple hundred screws later.
Wow, that was quick.
Yeah, it's not too bad when you got power tools. And you can see the foam in this thing is just shot.
Yeah, that looks
Look at
terrible.
that. So it's just, yeah, it's just
Falls off.
It just falls off of there.
Sand.
So we'll get to detailing, and that's the fun part, is cleaning it up. But when we get done with this, all this will look like brand new. We'll use muriatic acid and take all the rust off of this. You know, just
So are we
from the
cleaning them
moisture
right
in the air.
now?
Yeah.
Ready to go and do that?
Yeah, so what
Okay.
I'll do is I'll get a cart
Do
and
this.
start putting the parts on there, and we'll wheel it out there and start cleaning them up.
Okay.
So fun.
Ready.
Now that Mike has Buck's 383 engine completely disassembled, Mark and Allysa help go over what could be causing the performance issue.
Okay, well, I don't know a whole lot about it,
That's
but
fair.
when we got everything off of it, it looked really clean. I think that we'll be able to save it, but
Sounds
not
good.
sure.
What are your thoughts on it as far as if it's going to need to go to the machine shop, and if so, why?
Well, I think we need to, it's gonna, I guess, depend on what the crank does when we mic it out to see. I know we expected to only have a couple hundred miles on it, and it certainly didn't look like that. From the second the intake came off, it smelled pretty burnt in there.
Smelled burned.
Oil slinger looked like it was on backwards. So this is the one we took out of there. You see the same imprint of the lower timing gear, which is right here. So it was installed backwards.
You're exactly right, and I think your hunch went even further. I think it's even further than this. So if this crankshaft were installed in the car, this is the last thing that goes in. That goes on like that, then the timing cover goes on. And what this is designed to do is to sling the oil around the timing chain. It's got a space to it if you look. This rib sets against the timing gear, and it pushes it away from it so that the chain can't interfere with it. If you put it on backwards, if you put it on like this, where that rib is sticking out. Now remember, it's supposed to be like this, but they had it on like that. It is literally chewed it off, chewed the outer perimeter of it off. This, as you see, is a nice machine finish. Flip it over to where you really see the damage. The guy that put the engine together and rebuilt the engine may have done a fine job up to that point. But the minute you start getting metal introduced into the oiling system, everything is ruined. It gouges. I think not only did he put that on backwards, but I think it caused the failure. So you get that part, Alyssa? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, totally.
So these are the bearings. You see the brass showing? There's a babbitt, there's a finish that goes on this, and once that's worn through, that bearing's shot. When you hit the brass, it's really shot. Not only has it worn down prematurely, I believe, because of the metal in there, but it also has created gouges. And so now that tells me, is that
Some of them are worse than others?
Some are worse than
So-
others because they get more metal deposited into them, so they gouge worse.
So is this a result of two mistakes? This piece being put on wrong and these being put on wrong? Or is this kind of like a snowball effect? Just making sure that I'm following along.
It's one problem
Yeah.
that's created
It's all
all
caused
of
by
it.
Okay, that's what I'm wondering.
So
So,
take
if he
a-
would have put this on right, then then he would have been able to put these on right.
It's
the
a
oil
fair,
would have came
it's
down.
a fair assumption. That 20 thousandths over represents the fact that somebody took time to fit this engine together and do all the necessary internal machine work, okay? They just made one fatal mistake, and that's it.
Okay.
So that's how all the good stuff in the world can go to crap with one mistake.
Yeah, it was really interesting. Basically, being able to kind of read the wear and tear of the engine is what I learned.
So really, it doesn't matter what the rest of it is. We know we got problems in this engine, and internally it's suffered some major problems. And I'd be surprised if it would have ran another 1,000 or 2,000 miles because it was ready to let go. So let's just talk about the block. Now, one thing I'll just clarify for everybody is if we know we're gonna have to replace the crank, we know the rods are gonna have to be resized. The main thing I'd like to check now is just the condition of the cylinders on this. So we'll turn it over.
This looks bare. This is crazy.
Yeah.
This is what it tears down to,
Gets
just a
down
big
to-
hunk of metal.
To that, right, exactly. So just feel these cylinders, and you remember how you felt on the crankshaft and the bearings for
Yeah.
gouges? Just run your nails in there and see if you feel anything.
So if there was gouges, then would you have to replace the whole engine?
No,
Or,
if there were gouges in those cylinders,
felt good
then
except
regardless
for-
of anything,
right, like right here, I feel a little bit of a lip, but is
this
that
is
okay?
a ridge, and this is the carbon ridge because the piston only comes up to right here.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't come all the rest of the way, so it allows carbon to build up around this ridge. When they bore it, that'll all be smooth. But this ridge, which is very, very, in fact, there's hardly anything there at all, that tells me that cylinder's probably in darn good shape. Very, very good shape. It's gonna go out to the machine shop, not a big deal. It looks like the cylinders are in great shape. Probably end up putting a crank in it, some new bearings, maybe have to bore it, maybe not. All right, so we already know, let's load this thing up, get it off to the machine shop, tell them what we found, tell them we know what we found. We probably don't wanna spend any time or money on that crankshaft. We'll probably just buy a new crank kit. I do wanna tank it before we send it to them though, just so they can start with a clean pallet.
I think my first engine disassembly went really well. I'm glad I got to work with Mike at the beginning of it.
It wasn't actually just assembly, but you took all the peripheral pieces off the outside, and that's an important start. But the long block was still together. I would have liked you to be able to take the heads and crank and rods and
Next
all.
time.
Yeah.
Maybe
well,
next time.
Sooner than later, we're going to have another engine put together. So, good experience for her. If she wants to walk in the master shoes, she's going to have to try a couple of different ones on to see which one fits. As you were.
Two new cars are arriving at the graveyard, a 69 Charger and a 70 Roadrunner. Mark assembles the crew.
So one of these two cars I took in on trade.
Okay.
So it's actually a GYC car. It's a little 69 Charger 318 that he's owned since 1980.
Oh, wow.
He's put 230,000 miles on it. The other car's a really rare one. There are 697 of them made. 70 Roadrunner, 446 barrel. It's a 4-speed. It's a super track pack, plum crazy black interior air grabber car.
Wow.
I knew it was in dire straits. The owner knows it's in dire straits. He's plenty prepared for everything that's going to happen to bring that car back to life again. RM23 VOA, Lynch Road car. That's where all the Superbirds were built, by the way, Lynch Road. Wood grain steering wheel, no tack,
Yeah, I seen
which
that.
is kind of unusual for bumper guards and
Air grabber setup and everything
air
on it.
grabber and turn signal indicators. Yeah,
Got the rally wheels in there. It's got some goodies and
pretty
that's
cool. Pretty cool car. When that car's done, it's just going to be a fantastic example of classic Roadrunner Americana. The end result will be a car that was written off by many people many years ago that'll be back to life again at Graveyard Cars. The 69 Charger, it's every bit the peach that the owner said it was. I mean, he's had this car since like '81. He's babied. It's got 230,000 miles on it, so it's it's not its first rodeo. I don't know what I'm going to do with it exactly.
Sell it.
I think I'll put it back together. Not going to sell it.
It'll be
not
sold the
everything's
next
for
3
sale
hours.
around here.
Go on eBay and check it out. It'll be listed by the end of the day.
Okay.
eBay.
It's not up for sale. I'm keeping the car for myself. It's actually a nice, straight, little clean car. Like I say, the guy bought it. Look at that. Look at that under there. Air conditioning car. Send that back to Classic Air. Have them rebuild the air conditioning system on it.
Yeah, whoever buys it will have a nice AC system.
Well, okay, whoever buys it's gonna have to have a gun and a mask because it's not for sale.
The new owners
All right.
really like that air.
I don't know how many times I have to say that. It's not for sale.
You guys getting this? Okay, perfect.
Please get it.
So
Get
we
it
can
times
play
2.
it back when it's sold.
Get it in 1 frame per second. It is not
Let's
for
get
sale.
we'll get a picture of it loaded up.
Okay, you know what? Just for that, they'll bury me in the son of a. I'm calling my attorney right now, and I'm having it put into my will. Just like in used cars, the old man. Remember when he died? They threw him in his old Buick or whatever it was, Cadillac, and they buried him. No, that's cool.
Yeah,
This is what we used to call a panty dropper, Willie. Not that you're into that, but I mean, I was a big guy in school for panty dropper. You have panty dropper, right? Panty dropper? Oh, back in the old days. Before you got married. I mean, not now.
We'll do it.
You guys get that? Mike came up with the brilliant idea of after we're done driving it, let's park it out front with a for sale sign.
We got a guy coming in to ask him how much for the car. Going to put for trade for a Civic. Guy's got a nice little Civic. Going to come in, see if Mark's interested and get rid of it.
Well, guess who gets to drive it and guess who doesn't? Yeah. Yeah, is it for sale now? No, me and that car are spending the rest of our lives together. Nobody gets to drive this car. Nobody gets to drive this car. This is my car. If I find anybody else driving it, I'll hide the keys in my office. Dave can drive it because Dave's number 1. All right, Dave's number 1. Dave can drive it. I don't care about that. This is my little car. I have no intention, regardless of what Dumb and Dumber say about selling it. Not everything is for sale. Okay, let me get this guy a check and let's get back to work.
Hi, this is Allysa. Hi, John, how are you? I got a surprise phone call from John Buck. I know that we just finished disassembling his engine, and that was all good and fine. Well, it's not quite done yet, but it's going well. We actually just disassembled your motor. Oh, this weekend? I wasn't expecting him to come in and see his car till next month, but come to find out he's actually coming in this weekend. So yeah, John will be here at the end of the week, and I hope he's happy with the progress of his car. I know I'm excited to meet him, so I hope everything goes good. It was good talking to you. Thanks for calling. Okay. I guess he's coming up in a couple days. Get a couple things done then.
Mark checks in on the progress of the Superbird Tribute car. A Tribute Superbird is a 1970 Roadrunner that has been modified with the trademark Superbird components. So far, the car has been disassembled, sent to the Dipper, and is now in the metalworking stage.
The owner of the car, the guy who's commissioning us to build it, just didn't have the resources to spend $100,000 plus on a real Superbird, but has always wanted one. This is that car for him. This is making a childhood dream come true to somebody who probably will appreciate it as much as anybody even out buying a real Superbird. So we're all excited around here as well on this car. And with the AMD floor prepped, and it has its copper weld-through primer on it, I'm gonna give George a hand, flipping it over, putting it into place. He's gonna screw it down and start doing a spot welding with the AIM spot welder. The frame rails are in place. Remember, we sectioned these. Where you see these gussets inside, we've already put a protector, which is an undercoating, over the top of them, so they'll never rust. The leaf spring rear shackle hangers are in place. These are a weld-in item. These also come from AMD along with the frame rail, so we can put everything together as a unit. They are in place, as is the rear body panel, which has to be in place to set the forward and backwards location of those. So with all of that, you see the gold color, the copper color, that's a weld-through primer so that when we do our welding, it'll burn away and then it'll flow back into the weld so it's protected forever. Our pan is ready to go, so George and I are ready to do it. Georgie, you ready?
Yep.
You'll set that one there. Yep, this side's perfect. These screws hold everything nice and tight so that when he's going through and doing his welding, it's flush up against it. You always, as flush as you can up against the actual panel that you're welding to. If you have a gap, then it fills up quickly with all the weld slag, and that's no good either. But he's already got these in place. They're ready to go. Good job, George.
Thank you.
Good job. All right. So with Georgie's green light go on all the welding, you got a thumbs up for me. Once he has that done, we're gonna start putting the inner structure pieces in. Carry on, my friend. Carry on, my wayward son, as the song said.
Thank you.
Carry on, my wayward son. Hang on, I think I got an incoming call. Yes, Mr. Obama. Right, yeah. Nuke 'em.
Dave has set up the Roadrunner's heater box for reassembly, and Allysa is checking in.
So now what?
Now we get it over here. Got to start blasting off, and you can see how nice it came. Our deals here look natural. Of course, it's still wet. I got to blow it all off.
Yeah.
But we want to keep that natural, just a little bit of rusty look on all those tabs.
So are you going to dry them off and then put that clear coat finish on them?
Yeah, and I'll tape everything off, so I'm just clear coating just that piece. Same with this here. This looks really good. It's really natural looking.
That looks really good, yeah.
It doesn't look too brand new. So then we'll get our new heater core from upstairs. Get our rebuild kit from upstairs, which will have all our foam and everything else. Yeah, so we'll focus on sandblasting those, get all those clear coated so they won't rust, get our kit together, and then make it brand new, start putting it back together.
Well, let me know when you get the gasket in.
Yeah.
Because I'd like to help you put it together.
Yeah, we'll have it all ready and we'll just bolt her back together. So
that sounds good. Thank you for showing me.
Yeah, thank you.
I'll see you soon.
All righty.
Doodles,
What's going on, Marky?
I just sent you a text. Remember I was telling you a week ago that guy called up and said he had a car he wanted to donate? A couple of weeks ago, a gentleman called me up out of the blue and said he had a car, he wanted to donate it, he knew he'd never get to it. 71 Dodge Challenger 340. Complete car, formal back roof. He sent me the fender tag. Formal back roof like Buck's car.
So we leaving today or what?
As soon as you can get out of here and get it, but you need to make sure that you bring pallets with you, chains. He's also got like 3 or 4 motors. He's got 2 or 3 transmissions. He's got a bunch of junk. I know. Before he changes his mind, I want to go get that stuff and get it back.
Well, yeah, please just donate the stuff.
This is a really cool car. This is a houndstooth interior, black car, black vinyl top, 340 automatic luggage rack with the formal back roof, and they only made a handful of those cars.
And extra inventory, extra motors.
Extra everything.
Wow. We'll get a schedule and get out of here.
I guess I didn't look to see if it was a rally dash or not, but I don't care.
At this point, yeah, who cares?
It was free. Okay, so you got the text. You can get on it. I'm gonna go up and take care of saving the rest of the world. Yeah, I'm really excited about it getting back here. I don't get a lot of little treats like that, so that's a cool thing, and I'm happy to see it when it gets here.
In the parts room, Mark teaches Allysa how to read the dates on alternators.
All of these alternators came off of a car somewhere in the world. Some that we've worked on, some I just pick up in wrecking yards. Take a look inside that pie chart and tell me what you see. What's the very middlemost numbers?
69.
Okay, so this thing was cast in 1969. The little pie chart you see on the outside, that's what month or what week it was. That's the way they did their clocks. I don't think they cared. I don't think they gave a crap about it. You have to start with the first 3 that are filled up and chase that. All of them until the next open date that they built something should have 3 dots in it. And then the following month, is it gonna have 1, 2, 3 dots in it, or it's gonna go to the next month.
Okay.
Now you see there's only 1 dot in that pie? Mm-hmm. If there were 3, we cancel it out and go to the next one. But since there's only 1 dot in it, that represents the first week of that month. So, starting here, count around there and tell me how many you have. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September. So the first week of October. This should read which may be the 43rd week. They wrote it this way, the 43rd week is 69. Is that the first week of October? 4 times, October's the 10th month, 4 to 10 is 40.
40, yeah.
Pretty close, so that may very well be right on that. The alternator or any parts that are sundry parts that are put on as the car's going down the assembly line can't be built the day after the car or any time after that, and it can't be built the same day as it. A sweet rule of thumb is a month to 4 months. Now what happens at alternator rebuild shops is they take these two apart, they take 100 of them apart, they rebuild them, they put them back together. They don't care about date codes. So this back half could be for 1964. So just looking at the front of it isn't always the answer.
Oh man.
To compound it and make it just a little tricky, you saw that pie chart right there?
Yeah.
This comes apart, you see these 3 bolts? As soon as you take that apart, all you have is this front half of the case. The back half also has a date code on it. This date is when this half was cast. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 is October. First week of October, first week of October.
Okay.
The front and the back of that was cast at the exact same time, but there's another date, and that's the final assembly date. And I just didn't want to overwhelm you, but the final assembly date, you got 2 halves, boom and boom.
But when did they come together?
When did they come together? When did the crazy reefer puffin maniac?
Always some drug addicts putting together these cars.
I don't know, it was the 70s. Now if you look at the bottom, take a read on that.
11 of 69?
11 of 69. This represents the week. So the 11th week of 69.
So that puts it in January, March?
Yep,
March of 69?
puts it in March of 69, and it was cast in January and February. This is the ultimate perfect alternator. A lot of the parts on Mopars will use this same type of date codings, like your starters and your thermostat housings, things like that. So this is great fundamental learning for her as far as what date codes, how to check the dots, what the pie charts mean, and things like that.
Before leaving to pick up the donated car, Mike and Will plot to take Mark's Charger out for a joyride.
Ooh, no, Mike. Oh, I'm not doing that.
Just get in, Will.
No, I'm taking this off.
Get in.
You ever had one of these up your...
Well, no, well, thanks for asking. No, I haven't. That's a little sharper now, though. Good idea. 69 Charger Mark took in on trade as part of a down payment on a build.
Says he's keeping it, but we both know he's going to sell it.
He's going to die with it, is what he said after we said he's going to sell
buried
it.
with it,
Yep.
right.
Okay, you know what? Just for that, they'll bury me in the son of a... I'm calling my attorney right now, and I'm having it put into my will.
He also said only number 1 can touch it, which that's not me or you.
No.
Guess who gets to drive it, and guess who doesn't? Yeah, is it for sale now?
Just because he said we cannot drive it. We will never drive it.
Not ever is what he said.
Right.
He's
So we're
not
gonna
allowed
drive
to
it,
touch it.
Get it cleaned up, park it out front, get a for sale sign in, get some customers coming in without him even knowing what's going on. We're gonna sell the car, then sell the restore.
All you have to do is sit there and collect the money.
Nicely done.
Not quite as easy as it looks on TV. You know?
I know. You guys better make this look cool. Oh, see, right in the... Oh, yep. Still right in the crap. Those knobs are dangerous.
Yeah, could you imagine seeing me do that? It wouldn't work out.
We're there. Whew.
Runs good.
Well, you were just going to get yourself fired.
Runs pretty dang good, actually.
Mark says don't touch it. We're going to touch it.
And
when
I
it
think
makes
it's actually him saying, please touch it.
right, that's all I heard. And then it makes it worse when he says only Dave can touch it.
Oh, I like it. It runs really good. Horn works. It's a
Well, it
nice
does.
car.
So you're actually driving a car you were told not to.
Yes.
You were too stupid
Too stupid to drive.
to drive this car.
Turns out, might have been mistaken.
I think this is
Yeah, I like it. Nice Aaron.
Meanwhile, Allysa helps reassemble the heater box for the 1969 Hemi Roadrunner convertible.
Okay, so now we got all our foam in there. We got our little flip door in there that operates our heater and defroster.
Okay.
Got our little air divider right there back in, which was a puzzle in itself. So now we're ready to actually put our motor unit in there. So there's our little squirrel fan.
Did you paint that?
I actually clear coated it, so I didn't bother to sandblast it. It's hard to get all the little spots, so I just clear coated it. But yeah, I bench tested it, made sure it all worked properly. So now this dude will sit right on there. Then you can kind of see it's got to slip in here because your screws go on the outside. And then we kind of got to go back this way to catch the foam there. So then we'll start putting screws. So we'll start there, and then we'll use the drill and run them in. This door was in great shape. We just cleaned it up really good, put new foam on it. So yeah, I mean, yeah, and the foam in here, it seals off a little bit. You know, it's got a little sealing quality, so that you got metal right on metal. So it works two ways, acts like a little sealer, and it also kind of prevents moisture from building up on the metal doors and stuff. So that's why in a lot of the metal doors, you'll see the foam on there. So that's all done. So what we'll do now is we got to put our heater core in, and then we'll put our foam up in here like you did on that other half, and then we'll work on our back plate. This will go on the inside here, like so, and that's why we needed that like that. I'll kind of push it down there. All right, perfect. Well, we got our vent hose we need to put in here. So this kind of determines that our heater box has been rebuilt. Most of the Chrysler parts, they always have a part number on almost everything. This goes into your motor.
And what is this for?
This is a sealed motor, and you can see it's all sealed together. And so I imagine it gets hot, you know, and this way here it kind of vents. If you get a lot of heat built up in the motor case, it'll vent into that box. So it has a little bit of air to kind of cool it off, you know? But yeah, once you turn that fan on and have your vent set to a certain location, it'll either blow it up, you know, through your defrost or down at your feet to warm you up.
This season's going to be nothing but Mike and I pulling one over on Mark. We are dedicating this season to getting him back.
All right, your turn to incriminate yourself. I'll climb out, you just scoot right on over.
You don't want, I think you should have to go through the window too.
No, I'm not gonna go through the window. It's not holiday. I don't even fit through these windows. We need a station wagon.
So I've been told I'm not supposed to drive this car either.
No.
We are too stupid.
We're not allowed. Too stupid.
Too
That's
stupid
exactly
to
what
touch
he
this
said.
car. Okay.
All right, so take it for a couple spins. I'll get the gate open.
Putts.
The back of it's full of parts. Yeah, a little bit. All right, well, at least now we both get fired.
Okay, we'll shut her down.
All right, well, put her into the light.
So that's good. Charger for sale or trade for late Civic, $3,000 or best offer.
C-Mark. There you go.
You got it.
Looks perfect.
With the car up for sale, Dave and Allysa finished the heater box assembly for the 1969 Hemi Roadrunner convertible.
So we got all the basic part of the box built, and this is all we got left is our final plate. Our foam was a little long, so I'm going to trim that off so it doesn't stick out. And what I want to do is I kind of want to start on this one up here where our box was broken. Cool. Well, our heater box is all done. You put that seal on there, which is great. Put the two right here. This here actually seals these the heater core to the firewall. These will seal everything off. We got our gaskets there. So what we'll do is I'll have you on that end. I'll carry this end through. We'll put it through the firewall, and then I'll have you hold it, and then I'll go around and put all the nuts on the outside. So I'll get that one started. Excellent. So that's in there. Take our other cap off, see where those heater hoses come out. They got the gaskets in there to seat it. See, and here's our heater hoses, so then we'll hook these to those. Excellent. Awesome job. Wasn't too bad.
Thank you.
You're awesome.
Is there one more piece we need to put in?
Yeah, we got that little vent we need to stick in over there, and then we just need to tighten those bolts up, which will be nothing. Heater box looks awesome. I got the best teammate in the world. She did a fantastic job.
Thank you.
Very good. Yeah, she's a quick learner. She just grabs something and goes with it. Simple as that. I mean, you don't have to tell her anything twice. She just looks at it and does it.
Earlier, Mark asked Mike to pick up a car that was donated to the shop. Mike is returning with it now to assess the condition.
It's kind of like Christmas right now. I'm excited to see the car, see what kind of condition it's in. Good job. I had a set of those. Wow, those are 15.7s. Those are original, and I'll bet you they're date coded. I just guarantee it that these are the original 15.7s. The only time I've ever had a fan send us something, usually we get a lot of little things like model cars or pictures and magazines or cutouts of old articles, which is always fun to read. Boy, it's solid though.
Very nice people. These guys are
Really cool.
Very, very nice people.
Well, anybody that's going to donate a car for no reason at all, yeah, I'd say that's pretty
And
nice
some
people.
of the stuff may not be usable, but getting rid of it.
There's some of it's original black. Look at that. And so, yeah, it's not every day that you get that. Most people want money for it. Most people think you're rich so you can give them the money. But once in a while, you come across somebody who genuinely in their heart loves the cars, and it's more important to them to see the car come back to life than to put money in their wallet. That's the kind of Mopar lover, that's the kind of car fan that I like.
He was very impressed with this.
Yeah,
I bet it works.
that's cool. Wow. Boy, get royal. This is his cup of tea right here.
How's the girl look, Dee?
This
He
is a
loves
super
these
important
crazy
part right
steering
here.
wheels.
How's it look?
Here's some really nice ones here. Look at those. Original heat shields. Yeah, the car's
thing had
really
a roof
cool.
on
This right here had a luggage rack on it, which is really cool. This deck lid. It's all plugged for an original luggage rack. That's beautiful.
So we're gonna keep getting everything unloaded out of this car. And then once we do that, we'll start being able to put everything away in the parts rooms downstairs and upstairs both, and get the car inventoried and moved into the lot.
There's a score right there.
Original, yeah, this is an M81 car. This is the rear
It's
luggage.
on that black deck lid. There's all drilled for it.
Yep. Having everything unloaded and looking it over, the body of the car is amazing. We've got the original parts. That's the main thing. So many extra parts. It was just a really neat thing. There's a lot of stuff here that are going to help us get other people's cars back on the road. And I'm conscious of that. I know that not all of our customers are rich. And so, you know, watching the pocketbook and doing the right thing, that's what this whole donation was about. And that's what we're going to make sure that it stays about. This is cool. The original fender tags, plural, are here. This is something you don't see too often on any of the muscle cars. 2 tags mean it had so many options on the first tag, they couldn't fit the rest of the options, so they put it on the second one. My goal on the car probably at this point, it's a 2 fender tag car. It's a Challenger, it's a 71, black car, white top, houndstooth interior. I'd like to actually put it together for myself. But really, really cool stuff. There's a ton of parts over here. So life is good at Graveyard Cars. It's great to be me today.
Earlier, Allysa learned that the owner of the 1971 Challenger is coming out to see the progress on his car. He's expected to arrive at any time.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Good. You Alyssa?
I am.
Hi. I'm John Buck.
Nice to meet you.
How you doing?
Good.
Today I'm out here to check out my 1971 Dodge Challenger RT. Really getting kind of anxious to get the car all together and seeing what's going on out here.
Let's come up to my office.
Oh, okay.
It was really nice getting to meet John. Actually getting to sit down and hear his car's history was really awesome. I mean, usually I have to do that over the phone or through emails, and getting to do it like in person was so much more personable. So I heard that you bought it original, right?
Yeah.
Or you bought it from the dealer?
I bought it brand new, 1970 December. I was working at the dealership actually in construction, so went down there and on the showroom floor, this is with the car there, and it was green. I go, man, so I went home and told my wife, I said, you know, I gotta have that car. And so after a little doing, I was able to get the car. But it was just sight unseen. It was just on the showroom floor of the dealer in Covina.
So you ended up taking the one right off the showroom floor? You didn't have to special order it or wait or anything?
Just the way it was, yeah. It was a 71 Dodge Challenger RT.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
And you still own it today?
Today. In fact, my wife got her license in the car originally. She got a license to drive in that car.
Oh my gosh. Wow, so it sounds like you guys have a lot of history and a lot of memories with this particular car.
Yeah.
Was it your first car you ever bought brand new?
Yeah, it was actually the first car I bought brand new.
Have you ever wrecked it?
Well, I didn't wreck it. But about 3 or 4 months after I had the car, I was going home and somebody ran into the back of me.
And this was before or after the botched paint job?
No, this is 6 months after I bought the car.
Oh my gosh.
Or 4 months, whatever it was.
That's terrible.
It was brand new. Yeah, and that's devastating.
Yeah, no kidding. So I think one of the special points of his story that I really connected with is the fact that he bought the car new. Him and his wife had just gotten married, and it was the first car that he'd ever bought brand new. They ended up having their kids, bringing their kids home from the hospital in it, and it was just really cool. They still have it, and they're both still so excited to see, you know, how it's going to be finished. Hey, Dad.
Hey.
Oh, wow.
JB, How are you, buddy?
Not too bad, Mark. How are you doing?
What up?
Nice
It's
seeing
about
you
the
again.
time of year for you, isn't it?
Yeah, I can't believe it. And it looks like it's the right color now.
Yeah. How about that, huh? I cannot believe
Unbelievable.
that. I bet that happened more than once back in the day, though.
Oh yeah, they just every time lime green.
See, that's the problem. It's lime green.
Yeah.
Wait a minute now. There's two greens, and they're both could be considered lime green.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're doing good. Doors and fenders. We've already pre-fit all the sheet metal on it. We blew it back apart again and are doing our jam work on the doors and the fenders. A little bit of body work on the roof needed to be done, which they were lumpy from the factory, and the factory just put a vinyl top over them, but I can't bring myself to do it, so I like to massage it out and make it gorgeous. Ryan's doing a killer job on that. That rear body panel that was pushed in, we've got it moved back out. The right quarter that was hit, we've got it moved back out. So we've got really great lines. He's just doing some finish work on the glaze, and then Will's gonna put another coat of primer on it. Yeah, he's done the sides. He just needs to prime the roof and the rear body.
The lines look real good in it. I can't believe it.
Oh, they're crisp.
I mean,
yeah, those are good.
They're better than what it was when I first bought it.
Than at the factory. But this was a nice car to start with. It really wasn't a beat to death where we got to build everything out of mud. I mean, it had a lot of nice natural lines, but they never looked like that from the factory. But he's got your inside all painted up here for you, and that's a lot more color than the factory ever put on them, but we don't ever want it to rust, right? You want to give it to your grandkids and their kids. And it was funny because I had one of the guys when they were going around, one of the protocols that we have, and you might want to know this too, Allysa. Ryan was saying, what all holes do I weld up? He says, I know these are the door switches. Do I weld these up? No. These are the switches for the overhead consolette, the C26 option, because this car is optioned with the formal roof package, which means it has a formed headliner and an overhead consolette. And when the doors are ajar, there's a little light that pops on that says door ajar.
Exactly.
Yep, yeah, and that is the switch that goes there. So if you weren't familiar, that's what that switch is for. This is just gonna run your dome lights.
Oh, so that's...
But this is a secondary one at the back.
That actually ran the council part.
Because if it wasn't clicked to the second one, this would come on. This one's less sensitive than that because it's at the front of the pivoting point. This one's at the back. So if you just went to that first clunk, it'd say, oh no, you don't, close that door. So it was very early technology.
Oh, wow.
You know, it also has the low fuel.
Low fuel.
That works off of a sentinel relay that actually can tell when the gauge is getting low. It'll start to glow that light. And then the last one up there's your fasten seatbelt.
Yep.
Has nothing to do with the seatbelts themselves actually clicking together like today's cars do.
Yeah, because there was never, if I remember,
there's no wires, no signals, no nothing. It works off of a time delay relay under the dash. When you turn that key on and let off and the power stops to it, that glows for about 30 seconds, and then that time delay relay begins to slowly close, and that light goes out.
Goes out. Yeah,
it's just saying you got 30 seconds
to fade it away.
Yep.
Exactly. Well, I'm getting excited. I can't wait for you to...
I can't wait to see the black stripes on it, the black top back on it, the SE back window in it, and I mean, what a beauty, right?
Yeah.
What a stunningly gorgeous car. The only thing I think that we still got the jury out on is our wheel and tire combination, which we're going to work a little closer here, but you know, things are falling together fast, so in the next couple of months we're going to be at a point where this is nearly done and we're going to want that.
Yeah,
so,
we're going to need to figure out that.
What wheels would you put on it? 20-inch dubs?
22s.
22s.
22.
22?
Yeah.
Excuse me.
I haven't seen a Challenger 22.
I haven't seen one of these with 22s. I can tell you.
It might be different.
You'll never see one roll out of here with 22s on it.
Except for...
my dead body.
Except for all his new cars have 22s.
The new cars, that's fine, that all goes with it, but you can't put a 22 on a car like this. This needs a sidewall on it. It needs some meat, some tire pounding, tire smoking meat on it.
Oh, it's great. Yeah, it's been a while since I've been here, and a lot's been done. They've got it pre-painted, most of it, and the body's all together now, and you know, they're doing the painting, final paint and stuff, and the color's right. I just can't wait to get it back so I can drive it.
Yeah, I hope in the future that I get to meet more of the owners face to face, just because it is really nice to have that personable connection, and it makes it a lot more memorable.
Allysa learned how to read alternators' date codes. George installed the trunk floor on the Tribute Superbird. A 69 Charger and a 70 Roadrunner arrived at the graveyard. Mark received a donated 71 Challenger. Mike and Allysa tore down Buck's 383 and learned a backwards oil slinger damaged the engine. Dave and Allysa restored the heater box for the 69 Hemi Roadrunner convertible. And Mike and Will's plan to prank Mark continues.
Okay, so the car's out there for sales signs on it. Mike's gonna text his buddy, get him over here. We're gonna get him up to speed on what he needs to do. He's gonna bring over his camouflage lifted Civic. He's gonna go in there, talk to Mark, and say, hey, I don't have the cash, but I definitely want the car. So the camera boys are now gonna go in and get Mark mic'd up, tell him we're doing something else. We're gonna get hold of the guy that works next to us and get this thing going.
Pretty typical day, really, for me right here. Starts out, I get here about 7 o'clock in the morning, and I do all my basic paperwork, emails, things like that.
Hello. Hi. I was interested in that Dodge out there.
You want that door open, right?
The green one, right there. It says trade for Civic.
Nice.
Pretty typical day, really, for me.
Okay.
I get in really early in the mornings, like now, so I can go through, do all my
Hey,
basic
Mark,
paper.
you've got a guy that's interested in the car you have for sale out here?
I don't have a car for sale out here.
There's apparently a sign in a car.
A
out
what?
Here. What is it?
Charger. That green one.
There's a green Charger out here with a for sale sign in it.
Well, I don't have a car for sale. I don't know what he's talking about.
I honestly haven't got a clue.
How you doing?
Good.
Don't have a green Charger with a for sale sign.
Right out there.
Oh, it's funny. Okay. Sorry they wasted your time, buddy. That car's not for sale.
No?
That's cute, though.
It says trade for a Honda Civic. I got sweet.
That's
More
it.
Honda right there.
That's funny. That's funny. What is that?
Honda Civic. It says trade for Honda Civic.
Custom paint job, too.
Oh, God.
Thank you for calling Good Hair Cars. This is Wanda.
Will and Mike to the office, please. Will and Mike to the office, please. It's funny. That's funny.
What's that?
That's cute.
What?
That's real funny.
What? I don't understand.
Okay.
So the Challenger's not for sale, I guess. The new
Challenger?
Challenger I just brought back?
No, nor is that car for sale. Nothing I own is for sale, okay?
Everything's for sale.
Nothing is
Everything's
for
for sale. There's enough money, everything's for sale.
You know, guys, I wish I had this. Do you realize I have 4 fender tags that have to be decoded? I have part sheets for EMD that have to be checked in. I have neither the time nor the inclination to explain.
I think it's definitely worth it.
It was worth
like I said,
it.
it's got his blood pressure up.
And that, in the end result, is what we're looking for. We're looking for him to almost stroke out.
Popsicles in white gloves.
You're a medic, so you could revive him. So we're going to push him
That's
to.
all right.
I forgot. We're going to push him to his breaking point, and we don't have to worry about it because he's a medic. He can jump down, CPR, bring him back. Oh, we're going a lot further.
Not a medic, but
Close
thank
enough.
you.
Close enough. You're a volunteer firefighter.
And if it come down to him getting mouth to mouth or dying, we'll all be at his funeral.
Yeah, we're going to do a lot more now.